Hail adventurers! Pawn Star here with Pawn Star Gaming. Guys, how are you today? Last week I made a video as it was labeled 10 things Final Fantasy XIV could improve on. It was met with a little bit of pushback, I guess. It ruffled a couple tail feathers, and rightfully so. I mean, this game is a beautiful game, and it was never intended to upset anybody. It was just something from a new player perspective. So, with all that, I decided that I was going to do another video over 10 things that I loved about Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not going to lie, guys, there's definitely more than 10, as if we wanted to, we could just let this video footage roll and I could ramble on for hours and hours about how beautiful this game has been. I truly have enjoyed it, and so these here are just 10 easy things that I've loved about Final Fantasy XIV from a new player's perspective. And the very first one we're actually going to count as 2, as it is going to break up into 2 different parts, but it's the helpfulness of players. That Novus channel has been so helpful. It's really nice being able to just type whatever question it is you have in there, and either another sprout or a mentor, as they call it, will almost instantly, within seconds, answer whatever question it is you have, followed up by some extra information, tips, tricks, or whatever it is. For me, that Nova System channel has been a godsend. Thank you for that. The next part of this is going to be the parties. When you jump into a duty finder, or from the roulettes or whatever it is, even if you die 1 or 2 or maybe 3 times on a boss, the people are always very patient with you, especially if they know that it's their very first time there and you have questions. They're always answered. A lot of times people will just simply give out the mechanics for the boss and tell you exactly what needs to be done or what to look out for. If you mess up on it, it's not the end of the world. You're not called an idiot and kicked from the group like in a lot of other MMORPGs. It's just a willingness to help people out, and it is a breath of fresh air, actually. Overall, the community has been extremely patient and helpful and fun, really. Now, in the last video, I talked a little bit about the glamour system and some things that it could be improved upon, but ultimately the glamour system and the capabilities of it, especially with the dyes, are something out of this world. I mean, I've seen everything from just people who looks like they're going to school with their ball caps on, to people dressed up in full awesome plate mail armor. I've even heard and seen screenshots of people turning their house into a McDonald's and they're dressed up in McDonald's outfit uniforms. That was pretty dang cool. I'm really looking forward to playing with some of the dyes and coming up with different glamours and having a great time, because at the end of the day, MMORPGs are all about them looks, baby. Number 4 on my list is really cool. That there actually is a story, and you, the main character, are just that. You are the hero. You are the warrior of light. It's not like a lot of MMORPGs where you are just part of the bigger picture. You're just one guy that's going around killing some monsters in dungeons, doing a couple raids with some of your buddies or random people that you don't know, and then a cinematic comes on and some other hero comes and gets all the glory and credit. You play the main role, making the game more of a game about yourself, and for me, I don't know, that's really cool. It makes it more of a video game rather than just a movie where you're watching another character. Speaking of stories, number 5 on my list is that each job has its own story. With the job quests and the different abilities and spells that you unlock by doing those said stories, it's really cool. Currently, I'm working on the Black Mage one. I'm at level 62, and I'm really excited to see how the story really plays out. It was really great hanging out with all the Lalafels at the beginning of it, and like I said, I just can't wait to log back in and keep going on this quest for the Black Mages. I've heard there's some really good ones, and if you guys don't mind, comment below, let me know which one is your favorite. And number 6 on my list, this is kind of neat, because in the last video I had said that I wish there was more things for PvP, and what I really didn't know is that there is a lot more things for PvP. I just hadn't realized it yet. The feast is something that I'm really looking forward to being a part of and unlocking some of those abilities, rewards. And then also, what was really cool, I know that people have told me that PvP is kind of on the back burner of this game. And while that may be true, it is really cool to see that there is an entire set of abilities specifically for each job that has different spells and different abilities in those spells that aren't there for the PvM or regular part of the game. Meaning that they definitely took extra time picking apart those skills and making sure that they were at least as balanced as they possibly could be. Number 7 on my list is a really important one for me because it is where my home ended up being because of it. Now, obviously, you guys know there's different data centers. I personally play on the Primal data center, and originally I was on the Famfrit world. Now, I had some friends that I played with long ago that have since stopped playing the game, and I'm sure they'll return someday. But either way, I started playing with my good friend Chocobo here, and he was on the same data center as I was, but he was on Behemoth. It was really, really great to be able to just, hop over to one of those crystals and go on over to Behemoth and play with him as he would come over to Famfrit and play with me sometimes. He met some people over there on Behemoth and they made their own free company, and we've been partying up with them pretty regularly. So obviously I did what anybody would do. After going over there and playing with them multiple times and realizing I was going to continue playing with them, then I just made a character transfer straight on over to Behemoth. Now, I'm not sure if I would have actually done that had it not been for the ability to go between worlds like it is. So that right there in itself was a really, really awesome feature in Final Fantasy XIV. I think it's safe to say that everybody likes housing and in-game housing. I also think it's safe to say that everybody wants to decorate their house. But I've seen some really cool houses being decorated, and what I really like is it's not just the inside of the house, but also the outside of the house. You have a yard that you can decorate in there. Like I had said earlier, Chocobo sent me some pictures of a house that was remodeled into a McDonald's, fully with outfitted employees that were player characters role-playing as employees of the McDonald's. Some of them are even on their cell phones like you might see in a McDonald's or something of that nature. It was really, really cool to see those screenshots, and even cooler, like I had said earlier, to know that people participate in an event such as that. I'm curious to see what other types of events there will be or even has been. Number 9 on my list is a big one. Number 9 is so awesome because it is the soundtrack of Final Fantasy XIV. I can honestly say I have never played a MMORPG with such a great soundtrack as this one is. There's so many different boss fights or dungeons or towns that you just sit there and you go, oh, what's the name of this dungeon? I got to find the song for this. And then you go on over to YouTube or you do what you got to do to find that song, listen to the song over and over and over again. I think the Ravana, I think I'm saying his name right, Ravana, I don't know, the big bug with wings and 2 big giant flaming swords. That one, phase 1 is awesome, but phase 2, oh my gosh, I definitely hit that song on repeat multiple times before work last week once I killed that boss for the first time. And it's not just me that likes it. In the community, the Pawn Star Gaming community, we actually have a Discord that you guys are more than welcome and encouraged to join, where we have been posting lots of different songs that we've liked from the game. And the last one, and arguably one of the best features of Final Fantasy XIV, is the ability to instantly switch jobs. It is no-brainer that it is a crappy feeling when you're logged into a DPS character and your friend's on a DPS character and you guys are about to queue up for a duty, roulette, whatever it is, and the timer is at 15 or 20 minutes. So what do? You just switch on over to a tank or a healer and you get them quick queues. Also, it makes it easy to switch up if you just want to play something different, without having to actually log off, and maybe that character is at a different point in the game. There's just so many different features that makes that instantaneous switch of jobs so much easier. Currently, I've been leveling up my Black Mage. My personal goal is to have a ranged DPS, which will be my Black Mage, have a melee DPS, which I have kind of a toss-up right now between a Samurai or a Ninja, and then have a tank, which thinking Warrior. Warriors sure do look cool, and I've always liked the big Warrior type, right? And then as far as a healer, I do have an Astrologian that is level 66 from the last time I played, but those white mages sure do look fun. We'll just kind of see how it goes. And guys, that's that for the 10 things that I really enjoyed about Final Fantasy XIV. As I said earlier, I could definitely ramble on about this way more. I'd love to have you guys in my live streams right here on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Come in there and let's talk about the cool things Final Fantasy XIV has to offer. Tell me something I don't know, as I am a new player and I'm trying to learn this beautiful game. Also, make sure and join the Pwnstar Gaming Discord. We sit there and we talk about things like Ultima Online and Final Fantasy XIV, amongst many other games, all day long. Thank you guys to the Patreons. It really means a lot to me that you guys support me. Thank you also, you subscribers. Everyone out there, make sure if you haven't, hit that subscribe button for more Final Fantasy XIV content on a weekly basis, and hit that like button just to help out with that YouTube algorithm. And one final note, thank you everybody in Final Fantasy XIV community for creating such a beautiful community. I really have enjoyed myself, and in game everybody has been extremely nice. It has been a breath of fresh air playing this game with such a welcoming and great community. And with that said, guys, I'll see you next week. Pwnstar Gaming out.